What's up, guys? It's Dinger's Daily. We're back here with episode number 2 of B&B Breakdown, and hope everybody's having a great day, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you're listening on. Hope you're having a great day. And pretty much what we're going to be doing today is just all NBA trade deadline talk. I'm going to be reviewing every single trade, grading each trade, say about like the fits for each team, which team won the trade in my personal opinion, how it affects the other teams in the league, and just the latest rumors. Because right now when I'm recording this, Kyle Lowry hasn't still been traded. So by the time I finish up talking about all the trades, the Kyle Lowry trade gets announced. So like we can also talk about that. All right, starting things off with the first trade of the trade deadline. DeLon Wright goes to the Sacramento Kings for Corey Joseph and 2 second-round picks. DeLon Wright's having a pretty decent NBA career. He's just been getting traded all around. Like he was on Dallas, I'm pretty sure, Memphis, now Detroit, and then Sacramento, Toronto. Like he's been on a bunch of teams. The main thing here that Detroit's getting is the second-round picks. They're stocking up on value, and Corey Joseph is a pretty nice veteran to have on your team. And I like DeLon Wright. Pretty good upside. Good backup point guard if you need him. That's the first trade. Now, the grade I'm going to be giving for each team, Detroit, I'm just going to give them a B because they got a good, maybe even a B+. They got a good point guard and a good backup point guard with 2 second-round picks. Those 2 second-round picks are pretty valuable if you're a team that's like Detroit. That's like the worst team in the league. And then for the Kings, I'm going to give them a B- for DeLon Wright. I think that's about it. Alright. So the next trade happened earlier was the Denver Nuggets traded for former Cleveland center JaVale McGee, 3-time champion JaVale McGee, and for Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 future projected second-round picks. I like JaVale McGee. A lot of teams are shopping him. He brings you good center depth. He brings you veteran leadership. He brings you experience. He brings you championship mentality. I like what JaVale McGee can bring to the team. JaVale McGee did actually play for the Nuggets for like 3 to 4 years, a couple years back. They needed size and rim protection, the Nuggets, so especially after losing Plumlee the offseason. So that's one reason I like the deal. And then Isaiah Hartenstein goes to Cleveland. The grade I'm gonna give Denver is a B+, and I'm gonna give Cleveland, because Cleveland's bad. So like Detroit, this is just a trade for second-round picks. I guess sure a B. Like these first trades are not too enticing, you could say. But yeah, this next trade is the biggest one. The Chicago Bulls traded for Orlando Magic All-Star center Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu. He's not an All-Star. And they gave up 2 first-round picks, Wendell Carter and Otto Porter, I'm pretty sure. So let me break down this deal for both sides, because so far this is one of the biggest deals, if not the biggest one. Alright, Chicago. A+. You're making a playoff push with one of the best centers in the NBA, top 5 center in the NBA, top 4 center in the NBA. One of the best centers. You get a good center. You're building up that core that you already have with Zach LaVine. And so yeah, Chicago's gonna go for the playoffs. This team's gonna be pretty good. So I like this deal a lot for Chicago. What Chicago gave up are 2 first-round picks and Wendell Carter Jr. Now, people are thinking Wendell Carter Jr. is a really good center, and we got 2 first-round picks. But the thing is, Otto Porter, like, he's literally there just for the contracts to match. Otto Porter is not a great basketball player. Like, this is not a good deal for the Magic. And another thing, Wendell Carter literally has kind of been lost, you could say, when I've been seeing him playing. I don't know if Bulls fans could back me up on that, but like this isn't the Wendell Carter we noticed. Like he hasn't been fully aggressive. Mo Bamba was gonna like actually start until this happened. Like once Vucevic went out, but then we found out that Wendell is going to the Magic. The Magic made a bunch of dumpster fire moves. We'll get to more of those later. But yeah, overall grades: Chicago A plus, if not at least an A. Like come on. And then Orlando like D, C, like they literally got finessed. Like D, like F. Like I don't know what's the worst I can go, but that's not the worst trade, but like that's still a pretty bad trade for the Orlando Magic and shipping out Vucevic. Like that's all it took to get Vucevic. Like because the picks won't mean as much because they're Chicago's picks, and Chicago's going to be pretty good in the future. So, and then the next trade, another finesse. The Boston Celtics are trading for shooting guard Evan Fournier for 2 second-round picks. No players, just second. Not even a first-round pick. 2 second-round picks. The Magic's future looks nice. But right now, it's terrible. These trades are not good for the current timeline. I mean, maybe in 5 years, these trades will be, if not bad, just bad. But right now, the Magic are just getting finessed. So I'm gonna give this deal, the Boston Celtics desperately needed some offense. Kemba Walker does some things here and there. He's not great for them. He's just there. All right, he's pretty good, but he's not great. Like how they wanted him, All-Star Kemba Walker. And then you got their 2 All-Stars, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who I feel all the time are doing literally every single thing. They're doing literally every single thing. So they needed some scoring. They got a guy who averages 20 points. He can shoot really well. He can shoot the ball really well, especially threes, transition, catch and shoot off the dribble. I like Evan Fournier a lot. And for 2 second-round picks, that is a bargain for the Boston Celtics. I really like that trade for them. I'm going to give them an A- for that trade, if not an A. For the Magic, another terrible trade, an L. They got finessed. D, F. That's such a terrible trade. Let me just see if Kyle Lowry got traded yet. Because right now, the time is 2:30. Let me check if anything happened. And I'll go back to... Rajon Rondo goes to the Clippers from the Hawks. We'll talk about that later. Let's keep going with these trades. I was just checking if there's anything new. Alright. The next trade. Aaron Gordon goes to the Denver Nuggets for, I'm pretty sure it's RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, who I think is injured. Let me just check up on that. Is Gary Harris injured? Let me just check up on that. Because RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, and a first-round pick. Yeah, Gary Harris right now is injured. So, RJ Hampton is the prize of this deal if you're the Orlando Magic. He's a young guard. I like RJ Hampton. You get the first-round pick. Gary Harris, not so much. The Nuggets, they get... Let me tell you about their starting 5. You have Jamal Murray. Wait, let me just... And then you also have Jokic. You have Will Barton. You have Aaron Gordon. This is a good deal. He was supposed to go to the Celtics, but Denver is a pretty good team now. They're definitely in people's eyes as a good team, especially because of Jokic. Jokic and Aaron Gordon chemistry is gonna be good because Aaron Gordon's a really good finisher and Jokic is a really good passer. So I'm excited to see how that comes along. And like I said, Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, who I like, and a first-round pick are going to the Magic. Now, this deal isn't as bad for the Magic, but it's a good deal for the Nuggets. I'm going to give them an A- or B+. I'd say A-. I like the fit a lot. And then for the Magic, this isn't that bad of a trade, actually, because you get the first-round pick. I'm going to give them a C. This is just an C- maybe. So, this is a pretty good trade, in my opinion, if you're the Magic, because, like I said, RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, first-round pick. The first-round pick, you actually finally got a good first-round pick. and well, like not good, but you also get good young talent in RJ Hampton. Next trade, another Bulls trade. The Wizards traded Troy Brown Jr. and Mo Wagner to the Chicago Bulls for Daniel Gafford and Chandler Hutchinson. This is a good trade for. This is a trade where I have the Bulls definitely winning this one. Because Mo Wagner is playing a really good season. You got center depth now right behind Vucevic, center / power forward depth. Troy Brown, I like his game. Pretty good shooting guard / small forward. I like him. And is a decent pickup in my opinion. But now let's see who goes to Washington. Washington gets Daniel Gafford. I like he's a young guy. He was a rookie last year. He always puts in pretty good effort. He's a pretty good role player. I like that for Washington. The part I don't like about Washington is Chandler Hutchinson. He hasn't got much PT for the Bulls, but I just don't think he hasn't really panned out in the Bulls like what they've been doing recently. So yeah, I don't think Chandler Hutchinson is that great in this, especially when you're giving up two guys who are like pretty good role players, and then you only getting back one. Like I don't understand. But Chicago has been 2 for 2 in their trades so far. So the grade I'm going to be giving Chicago is a B, like a B plus. Like this is a pretty good trade, pretty underrated, but low key pretty good trade. And then Washington, I'm going to give them a C minus. Or just a C. A C is like an average trade. And then anything below that is a bad trade. Anything above that is a good trade. And then the next trade is the Sacramento Kings are trading Nemanja Bjelica, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. Nemanja Bjelica to the Miami Heat for Chris Silva and Mo Harkless. I like Nemanja Bjelica for the Heat because Nemanja Bjelica he's a good power forward and I guess small forward if you want to. But he's pretty good. He's gonna come off the bench for the Miami Heat. He's gonna shoot some shots. I like what he did for them. He's kind of like how Jay Crowder was last year, except he's gonna hit like more shots, and I like what he can bring to this team. The fit's pretty good. Because right now they've been running a lot of Kelly Olynyk and other people, so especially because they might trade for Lowry, so a lot of stuff is going down. And yeah, I like the fit. I'm gonna give them a B on this deal, and I'm gonna give the Kings a C. Mo Harkless and Chris Silva just a C. That's not the biggest trade, so I didn't have to break down too much. Next trade. The Oklahoma City Thunder are trading George Hill to the Philadelphia 76ers for Tony Bradley, Terrence Ferguson, and 2 future second round picks. And it's a 3-way deal, so Ignas Brazdeikis goes to the 76ers, and so yeah. Let me just break this down for Philadelphia. So pretty much right after this, it was kind of like announced like another 20 minutes later that Philadelphia's out of the Kyle Lowry running. So they get some good veteran point guard depth. I like George Hill. He's a really good shooter. Like he led the league in 3-point percentage last year. So I like George Hill a lot. But I do think Philadelphia gave up a bit too much for George Hill because Tony Bradley's a really good player in my opinion. Not really good. He's a good player, especially for depth. I think he's good. He's going to be good for OKC. And Terrence Ferguson was literally on OKC, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if this is the same guy. I'm trying to remember. Terrence Ferguson. Yep, Terrence Ferguson. He's a high flyer. He's really athletic. I like him. He's pretty young as well. So, and you get 2 future second round picks. So for the Knicks, giving them a C, they lost Iggy Brazdeikis, who's kind of balling out sometimes in the G League. But yeah, for the 76ers, I'm gonna give them a C plus. George Hill, he's pretty good. He's really good. Pretty good for what they need him to do. You know when I'd be throwing around the words really good, like I don't mean he's like actually really good. He's just really good for what they need him to do and really good for his role. Alright. And then for OKC, I'm gonna give them like a B plus because Tony Bradley, Terrence Ferguson, and 2 future second-round picks. I like that a lot for OKC. So yeah. Next deal is a heart crusher, a heartbreaker. One of my favorite players of one of my favorite teams, Norman Powell, gets traded to the Portland Trailblazers for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. Norman Powell, let me just tell you guys, he is a bona fide scorer. He can finish. He can shoot. I like his game a lot. Like I've said, he's been balling out for the Raptors this year. As like I said in my other video on my YouTube channel, if you did not watch that one, yeah, when the guys were like Fred VanVleet, OG, and Siakam, when they were all out, like it was Norman Powell doing all the scoring. Like he dropped a 43-point game, and so his average is somewhere around 19 and 20. It just, let me tell you guys about the fit in Portland. All right, point guard, you got 6-foot Dame. Shooting guard, 6'1" or 6'2" CJ McCollum. Small forward, you got 6'3" Norman Powell. So, not just height, the fact that none of them are incredibly great at defense, just being completely honest. And especially who they gave up. They gave up Rodney Hood, who's just there for the contracts to match. Who's just there for the contracts to match. And Gary Trent is a real prize for the Raptors here. He is a good shooter. He shoots 40% on 7 threes per game. He is a lockdown defender. I think he's gonna go to Toronto and ball out. A lot of Raptors fans are calling this trade bad. I mean, I might have overreacted to it in my video. I didn't call it bad. Norman Powell is a part of the core. It just, look, Norman Powell is not gone forever. There's a chance he could come back in free agency. A very slim one, but there's still a chance. Like, Portland took a risk. Gary Trent's also a restricted free agent, but Gary Trent's still on his rookie deal, so he's going to be, I think, a part of the core for the Raptors if he's going to stay with them, because I think Gary Trent's been pretty good. You guys saw in the bubble, he had a really good bubble, Gary Trent. So, Gary Trent Jr., my bad, Jr. So yeah, this trade, I'm going to give the Trailblazers a B. I'm going to give them a B because Norman Powell's a really good player, just the risk that he might leave and the fact about defense and fit. And then for the Raptors, I'm going to give this trade a B. This is a pretty even trade. It could go one way. I can see the Blazers winning this trade. I can see the Raptors winning this trade. I mean, it just depends on if Norman Powell stays, depends on how Portland decides to use him. Because Norman Powell, in his career, he has not played with 2 guards other than him that are ball dominant and shoot the ball. Like Norman Powell was playing with a Raptors offense where no one was, being honest, no one was necessarily a superstar. Nobody was averaging 25 points. I think the max was like around 20. I think that was Freddie or Norm, either one of them. But like nobody was averaging super high points. Like literally, they have 5 starters who all are averaging above 15 points, but like less than 21, around that range. So they use a lot of ball movement, and it's very spread out, the offense for the Raptors. But then you look at the Trailblazers, you have Dame averaging 25 plus, CJ averaging 25 plus. Like, I'm not sure if CJ is averaging 25 plus, I'm just assuming. But I don't like what would happen to Norman's touches. I think his touches would go down. It just depends on how Portland uses him. But at least they got 2 good defenders at power forward and center at Robert Covington and Yusuf Nurkic. This is a slightly undersized lineup. But yeah. That's it for this trade. Next trade, next trade. All right. Oh yeah. The Raptors, another trade. Raptors are trading Mr. 99, Matt Thomas to the Utah Jazz. Sharpshooter Matt Thomas to the Utah Jazz for a future second-round pick. I like this deal for the Jazz. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They get another 3-point shooter, like a sniper. I understand why they traded Matt Thomas, because Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis, like, they're not even getting rotational minutes. Like, I thought Matt Thomas was going to be a guy who's going to get a lot of rotational minutes, but Nick Nurse is not using Matt Thomas, so why have him on the roster? Now we trade him to Utah, we get a second-round pick, right? And now that frees up a roster spot we can get in later in the Lowry trade. That's what I'm personally thinking about this. So, I like this move for both teams. The fit with Utah, obviously, is good. I'm going to give it a B+ for Utah. He can come off the bench, hit you some threes, some middies. For Toronto, I'm going to give them, they're going to get a second-round pick and an open roster spot. So I'm going to give them like a B+. This is a pretty even trade. Both teams won this trade. Let's go back and check up on some. Oh yeah, the Rajon Rondo. Let me see if we got future details about that one. Okay, so Rajon Rondo to the Clippers for Lou Will, and 2 second-round picks are going to the Hawks. Rajon Rondo hasn't even been playing for the Hawks. But Lou Will hasn't been great this season either. I don't know if Rajon Rondo helped the Lakers win a championship, but Rajon Rondo hasn't been playing for the Hawks. When this happened in the offseason, when Rajon Rondo went to the Hawks, I thought he was going to get a lot of playing time as a backup point guard, but they didn't play him. So, I guess, yeah. So, he's going to go to the Clippers. Lou Will and 2 second-round picks are headed to the Hawks. I think the Hawks, Rajon Rondo can win another championship with the Clippers. I think I'm going to give the Clippers a C because you get a good backup point guard. We don't know how he's going to be, but we're assuming based off his 2020 season. And then for the Hawks, I'm going to give them a B+, I guess, because the 2 second-round picks are the main part. And Lou Will, if he can make his game, if he can be good again and be the Lou Williams we all know. So, yeah. C for the Clippers because they get Rajon Rondo, and B or B+. I don't know what I said. B for the Hawks, probably. Alright, that's it for now. Another thing I wanted to talk about in baseball is Eloy Jimenez tried to rob a home run, and he hurt his hand. His hand went over the wall and he hurt his hand. So yeah. He's gonna be out 5 to 6 months. I think it was a pectoral issue. Let me confirm. I'm pretty sure it's a pectoral issue, but yeah. And then after that, we can talk about the guys who are still left to be traded. Alright, yeah. Eloy Jimenez has suffered a ruptured left pectoral tendon that will require surgery. The left fielder will miss 5 to 6 months. He's gonna miss the 5 to 6 months of the season. That's pretty bad news if you're a White Sox fan. That's your cornerstone guy there. So yeah, I just want to talk about that for a bit. Alright, the Rockets and Heat right now are discussing a trade. For Victor Oladipo. So Victor Oladipo might go to the Heat, or Lowry might go to the Lakers or the Heat. There's 20 minutes left right now. 18 minutes actually. It's 2:42 by the time I'm recording this. 2:42 Eastern time. But yeah. I might pause for a bit, stop the recording, and then I'll see when some big news comes back. I'll see you guys when the next news comes back. Alright, so, it's been a couple minutes, not much news has been leaked, but I do want to talk about some rumors. So, the Lakers are not willing to give up, Talon Horton-Tucker, THT, to the Raptors, and the Heat are not willing to give up Tyler Hero to the Raptors, and yeah, for the Kyle Lowry trade. So let me just break down both those statements, and yeah. So Talon Horton-Tucker, right? He has tremendous upside, as we saw in the preseason. He scored a bunch of points. He has been cooking the G League. He has tremendous upside. But right now the Lakers are going for their second championship, right? He hasn't been especially too great recently. So what I'm thinking, if I'm a Lakers fan or if I'm Frank Vogel or Rob Pelinka, is I'm going to go out and get myself Kyle Lowry, a veteran point guard who's going to help this team. LeBron and AD are out for a while. We need a guy like Kyle Lowry to come in and help the squad. He has great playmaking. He's a great mentor. And then when LeBron and AD come back, think about that big three. Lowry, LeBron, and AD. Just think about it. But he's not okay giving back Town Horton Tucker. Like, this is Kyle Lowry, the guy who is, like, gonna work harder than anybody you know. Alright? He's gonna come and do his work. Don't poke the grizzly bear. Like, this dude is such a good player, and Kyle Lowry goes and hustles every single point. Have you seen him on defense? Like, Town Horton Tucker, whoever you don't want to trade for Kyle Lowry won't provide what you need for defense. Kyle Lowry doesn't need to score to help your team win. He can give you a cool 15 with 10 assists, 2-3 steals, a lot of rebounds. He is such a great rebounder for his height. This is just completely atrocious if I'm the Lakers. Like, why would he do this? I understand the Tyler Hero statement a bit more. They're offering, if I'm a Raptors fan, my ideal trade would be something like Duncan Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, and like 2 first-round picks. I think I would be accepting that, or a first and a second, and maybe Casey Okpala. Like, I think I could be down with that. That might be a bit too much if I was in Miami Heat, but like, that is my ideal trade. That might be a bit bad, but yeah. But Tyler Hero, like, he is pretty good. He's definitely way better than Town Horton Tucker, and I don't understand why teams are literally being like, oh, we don't want to trade away this young guy. But think about what Kyle Lowry brings to the Miami Heat. Like, again, exactly what I said for the Lakers. He brings you veteran leadership. Look, it's him, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo. And then you also got, if Tyler goes, I'm pretty sure they're keeping Duncan. So he can help Duncan find great looks. Like, that's what OG was pretty much doing. He was shooting a lot of threes. Norman was shooting threes. Freddie was shooting threes. Like, their team was shooting threes. So he knows how to find guys who can shoot the ball. You got Goran Dragic as a backup if you need to. Jimmy Butler, he can get way more finds for Jimmy Butler. Like, sometimes Jimmy Butler, other than Jimmy Butler, like, Goran Dragic is the main playmaker on the team. Kyle Lowry will just elevate the status of the Miami Heat team so much in a way like no one has seen before. I think the Miami Heat can definitely contend in this Eastern Conference if they go trade for Kyle Lowry. But I guess we'll just see, because we got another 10 more minutes till the deadline's over. And is there going to be a Lowry trade? Is there going to be a Lonzo trade? Or is there going to be an Oladipo trade? Like, are any of those 3 guys getting traded away from their respective teams? We got to wait and see. One last thing I want to mention. Like, this is coming down to the wire here. Whether Lowry, Alonzo, or Oladipo want to get traded. Or are going to get traded. Not want to get traded. But last team I want to talk about in the Lowry race are the Los Angeles Clippers. Like, you got Lowry, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, Serge Ibaka, who is out right now, but Kyle Lowry could help. But there's not much this Clippers team has when it comes to assets. They just traded away 2 second-round picks and Lou Williams. So ideally, they might give Pat Bev, Terrence Mann, and Ivica Zubac, in my opinion, back with like maybe a pick or 2 attached. So that's not the most enticing deal if you are the Raptors. But the most recent news has been said that the deals have been very underwhelming for Kyle Lowry. So the Raptors are considering keeping him past the deadline. And the Rockets might even keep Victor Oladipo. So it's literally coming down to the stretch. And we'll see what happens next here on B&B Breakdown. Okay, not a Lowry trade, Lonzo, or Oladipo trade, but Terrence Davis of the Toronto Raptors is getting traded for a future second-round pick to the Sacramento Kings. My opinion on this is that because they weren't even playing Terrence Davis. Because same thing with Matt Thomas. They weren't playing either Matt Thomas or Terrence Davis. So I understand why they're trading these guys to other teams for second-round picks, because they're going to stockpile up on the assets. And I think that's not a bad move if I am the Raptors. Like, this is a good trade. For the Sacramento Kings, you're getting a pretty good shooter and a pretty good scorer. He can dunk the ball really well. And, yeah, he's another undrafted gem the Raptors have found. But in the end, it didn't work out. His rookie season was really good, but he hasn't got much this season. Not even any playing time. So after all the moves so far, there's 3 minutes left, and the Raptors have one more freed spot. So I don't know. Will Lonzo remain a Pelican? Will Oladipo remain a Rocket? Will Lowry? Never mind. There's one more trade, guys. The Pelicans are close on a deal to send JJ Reddick to the Dallas Mavericks. So he's a great shooter. JJ Reddick, of course, you guys know he's a great shooter. So Luka has got another good scorer for the Dallas Mavericks. So that's going to be good. And then the Pelicans, I'm not sure if it's a buyout, right? So if they get a pick, the Pelicans, I guess they're going to, if they free up a spot, that might be leading to a Lonzo trade potentially. Because right now the Mavericks are 7th in the West, but they're pretty close. Like they're close enough to get to like 5th with the Lakers injured right now. And then the Pelicans are sitting at 11th. So that's that. All right, there's a bunch of stuff. Another thing, Yusuf Nurkic is coming back from injury, and so yeah. Okay. Final Lonzo report. There's no Lonzo trade according to Woj, so he's going to be staying in New Orleans. There's one last minute. Let's see here, live with everybody here. When this is posted, by the way, it won't be like live. And Drummond is working on a buyout with the Cavs, so he's going to either go to like probably the Lakers or the Nets. Lonzo's going to be a restricted free agent this offseason. So let's see, is there a Lowry trade? That's the biggest thing, Lowry or Oladipo. Because the Raptors have said the offers are extremely underwhelming, like I said. Because all the guys that are supposed to be traded are not being traded. Like Lonzo is not being traded. So I really want to know, is there a Lowry trade? Because it's 2:59. One more minute. I really wish Lonzo went to like the Bulls. So that would have been really good. Or New York, that would have been a great fit. But they're going to be keeping him. And then Drummond and the Cavs have agreed on a buyout. So he's going to be a free agent. Alright. All the news is coming in right now. The perfect time. One guy the Pelicans could still trade, like there's still time, right? Because some of these offers and trades or whatever just come in like 5 minutes late. Steven Adams, because he's making some money, so they were potentially gonna package Steven Adams. All right, I think the Raptors might be keeping Lowry. But it's officially time, everybody. We're just waiting. I'll stop this because it's kind of like useless, and I'll be back when any news comes back. All right. More info about the JJ Reddick trade has come. JJ Reddick also with Trey Lyles from the Spurs. It's like a multi-team deal, so the things are just being announced about it, like all the details. And the Bulls might potentially trade Mo Wagner to the Celtics for Daniel Theis. Alright, by the way, the JJ Reddick deal, the deal hasn't been official, but if Mo Wagner goes to the Celtics for Daniel Theis, I'm gonna give like the Celtics, I'm gonna give them a B+, and I'm gonna give the Bulls a B-, because Daniel Theis is a good rebounder, but he's a bit older, and Mo Wagner has a more complete game. Alright. So yeah, we'll see what's happening. We'll see. Like usual, trades trickle past the deadline. Yeah, Mo Wagner is gonna be pretty much going to the Celtics, I think, from everybody. But let me talk more about the Andre Drummond situation, because Andre Drummond could definitely help a team like the Lakers, especially with AD out. The Nets, I mean, they're already stacked. The Bull, yeah. I mean, this is a good deal. Like, I'd take the deal so far. I'd say definitely the worst two deals are always the Magic ones. The Magic cleaned house like crazy. Oh my god, they cleaned house. I'll be back if anything else happens. It's kind of dry for a bit, but you know these trades trickle in 5 to 10 minutes later like usual. And just as I was getting ready to post at like 3:05, I was gonna post this on YouTube and on the Anchor, but yeah, and Spotify. The Hornets are acquiring Golden State backup point guard Brad Wanamaker. They are low on the point guard type of depth because of obviously LaMelo's injury. So Brad Wanamaker, he's a pretty good player. I like Brad Wanamaker. He's helped the Celtics. Now he kind of helped the Warriors, but because Jordan Poole's doing really good, replacing Stephen Curry. Yeah. So yeah, Wanamaker to the Hornets, and then update on the JJ Reddick trade. JJ Reddick goes to the Powells, but it's a direct trade, so there's no third team like was previously mentioned. But yeah, let me talk about the names that I thought might have got traded. Lowry Markkanen was a big one. Same thing with John Collins, Oladipo, and Lonzo and Lowry. Like those five still haven't been traded right now. John Collins was very intriguing for a lot of different teams. So yeah, and I would probably say like the trade that a lot of people are sleeping on is the Raptors one for what is it called? Norman Powell, the Raptors Norman Powell trade. Gary Trent Jr. is a really good player. A lot of Raptors fans have been pretty annoyed. I mean, Norman Powell is a really good player as well, but the thing is, I guess as part of the retool the Raptors are going through, Gary Trent Jr. is a pretty young player, and he's a better defender. Just like I said, I don't know how Portland's going to fit that through, and Norman Powell might not stay long term. So the Raptors might actually win this deal, especially if Norman Powell doesn't stay with the Trailblazers. Because then they're literally going to be getting a veteran, and then also they're going to also give the Trailblazers are also going to be giving up a lockdown defender who can shoot the ball really well as well. So yeah, another guy a lot of people thought were going to get traded is Bol. I mean, Bol might have been traded. But the thing is, he just hasn't got minutes. Like he has a lot of potential. I just wish Bol was in a place, in a position to get minutes on an NBA team to prove what he can do. Alright, I'll fill you guys in if anything else happens. Okay, never mind. An Oladipo trade just happened. Oladipo is getting traded to the Miami Heat. Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat. So, honestly, I feel like a Kyle Lowry trade might be closed. So, Victor Oladipo, he's a pretty good defender, a decent scorer. Now, that kind of lifts the weight off of Jimmy Butler's shoulders. But Houston probably is getting back a Duncan Robinson, not a Tyler Hero, because the Miami Heat and Heat fans think Tyler Hero is like the next reincarnation of Michael Jordan, but no one wants to give him away from Miami. So probably Duncan Robinson, maybe Precious Achiuwa, I don't know. A couple picks, definitely, for sure. But yeah, Shams just tweeted. I mean, no, was it Shams? No, it's Woj. So yeah, it was Woj for sure. So I'm gonna so far just based on the fact that Oladipo is going to Miami, just the fact that no one is like getting lost. I'm gonna give this deal a solid yeah, I'm gonna give them an A- on this deal because this Victor Oladipo, hopefully he can regain his all-star type form where he was really good on the Pacers. And yeah, update on the oh yeah, Miami is also officially out on the Lowry sweepstakes. So literally, Lowry might be staying with the Raptors, and I'd be super happy. And then update on the Terrence Davis trade to the Kings. That's not such a big trade, but the second from Sacramento going to Toronto is actually a Memphis 2021 second. So Raptors get another second round pick in this upcoming draft. If we like get passes and so yeah, Jimmy Butler, as well as Bam Adebayo and Victor Oladipo is going to be such a big three. And Kyle Lowry, still no one knows. Like, is Kyle Lowry going to the Lakers or what? Because are the Lakers gonna get Drummond when he buys out, or is that gonna be the Nets? So this is a confusing. Oh, I think the Raptors are keeping Kyle Lowry. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm super happy the Raptors are keeping Kyle Lowry. That's such a yes, yes, yes. So a lot of people realized how good Kyle Lowry was, and now he's literally staying on the team. So in the end, the Raptors trade deadline was such a big W, even though they lost Norman Powell, because Lowry can help and stay. I don't know if he's going to be staying this offseason, but he's definitely going to be staying for the rest of this year. And I think the Raptors, the guy they should draft, in my personal opinion, is Evan Mobley. If they can have a chance to trade out for Evan Mobley, that would be really good, especially because they're not going to get a Precious Achua and Ivica Zubac, another center like JaVale McGee. They're not going to be getting a backup center, because I definitely want them to get Evan Mobley. So yeah, I'm super happy the Raptors are keeping Lowry, and I'm pretty sure that's about all the trades. I'm not gonna wait for the details to come out on the Miami Heat, Miami Heat, Victor Oladipo stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna be talking about all the details. So that's about it for this episode of the B&B Breakdown. Make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button if you're on YouTube. This is such a bigger one because part of it was just me like scrolling through my feed, just like talking about all the live news. And then also because it's the NBA trade deadline, I graded every single deal, talked about the fits for every single team. Danny Green might be another guy that gets traded, but this is probably where the episode ends. So make sure you guys follow, give us 5 stars, subscribe, hit that like button, and share this to all your friends. And yeah, it's been Jelly. If you guys stayed until the end, you guys are legends. And yeah, bye.